Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Onyegolu. Now, we all know that thing called the internet, that vast computer network linking smaller computer networks worldwide. Well, could it be that the next thing that will be another key part of our lives, just like electricity, print, radio, television, and the telephone, could it be the Metaverse? Well, earlier this month, Facebook made the eye-catching announcement that it's hiring 10,000 people to work on building the Metaverse. And one well-sourced tech website has even reported that Facebook will soon change its name to reflect its metaversal ambitions, if that's a proper adjective. Well, there are a few more plugged-in correspondents than Arise correspondent Judita Dasilva, and she joins me now from London for more on this story. Great to see you, Judita. First of all, what is or what will be the Metaverse? I mean, I've heard it said that it's a place you can live digitally, sort of like a physical world, which is a sort of metaverse of reality.
Absolutely. So when you think of the word meta, what meta means is self-reflecting, something that reflects on itself. So the metaverse is a universe that's a reflection of the actual universe. And with what Facebook is pitting, this is something that has existed in the technical world for a while. In places like South Korea, there are metaverses that people live in digitally already. And in Silicon Valley, it's almost like a buzzword now that gets everyone very excited. So what it is that there are two ways you can engage with the metaverse, either using like virtual reality glasses, where it's like a first person perspective and you are meandering through this digital world, or via an avatar, which is like a cartoon character you animate, you pick their clothes, what they look like, how they are, and you animate that character in this digital world. It's similar to what we saw Mark Zuckerberg do when he holds meetings. And what Mark Zuckerberg has said is that this metaverse, which The Verge reported that he's going to announce the name change to reflect on the 20th of October at the Facebook Connect event, is where they're taking the Facebook company, and he wants to do so within the next 5 years. So that's 10,000 employees across the European Union, billions of dollars to create a digital reiteration of what human existence is. However, those existing in that universe can control it. So there's also a kind of autonomy over existence you don't get in reality.
Well, I have to say, it sounds absolutely amazing, but it also sounds like a place where a lot of very odd people will find some kind of comfort. So Facebook, Metaverse, a digital universe where you have an economy, you live, you play, you transact. I mean, it is a physical sense in every sense except that it is digital. Is that right?
Correct. Because the metaverses that exist already, one that I can reference is Decentraland, which uses the same kind of technology, which is blockchain technology that Bitcoin uses. And in this metaverse, you can buy land, you can buy property, you can buy goods, all existing within the digital world. So it's almost like a functional existence, but without the actual vicissitudes of what it takes to live in the real world. So that, again, that idea of autonomy over existence is what this metaverse makes so attractive to people. And when you think about the evolution of how the world is going, which has happened since which has been proliferated since the pandemic, people are beginning to, even me talking to you via Zoom now, people are really beginning to function at a distance and function under digital control. This basically takes that to the nth degree. And so you can functionally do all the things you can do in real life in places like that. So another thing like the computer game Fortnite has already taken this to certain levels where they are able to capitalize with partnerships on movie studios like DC and Warner to use the DC characters and the Marvel comic book characters. So I could now go into the universe, this metaverse, as Black Widow. So it's showing people the true possibilities that exist in a technological existence.
But I mean, the idea, Judita, of a digital life and a real life and being able to merge the two, isn't that a sort of dystopian idea of the world? Or is it simply, as you said, the way the world is going in any event?
There are two ones. The realistic answer is it's where the world is heading in any way. When you look at what they say, film is an artistic reflection of reality. In TV series like Black Mirror, this is an issue that is always posited on the show. Why people have found it so attractive, because it's a reflection of humanity. What this does is it capitalizes on all the fractures in the human condition. When you think of the hot button issue now, it's mental health. When you analyze the most regular things that come up with the sources of mental health issues, it's people dealing with who they are, how they are perceived, and how they measure up to everyone else. What this does is provide a kind of band-aid to put over that, but indeed it's always a band-aid, because with these technological existences, at some point you have to power down. At some point you have to log off. So what a lot of doctors have said is that they worry that it makes it harder and harder for people to engage in reality when you give them the possibility of creating a fake perfection in this digital world.
And what about Facebook having a leading role in it, Judita? I mean, is it something that one company can construct?
That's the other vein of this story, because while they're presenting this idea of we're taking things to where they will naturally progress to, it's about business. But Mark Zuckerberg said that when he started Facebook, it was at a point where smartphones were becoming popular, and he wishes he had been involved in that, because right now Facebook is an application that you have to host on other things. So on a phone, you download Facebook. On a computer, you download Facebook. And he is beholden to the Googles and the Apples of this world because they host him. He's trying to get ahead of the curve because he sees the metaverse as the next step. If Facebook gets in there first, everyone else has to be hosted by Mark Zuckerberg, and he gets to have the shoe on the other foot. So it is about business. And what this has to do, for you to create a true metaverse, you'll have to have partnerships with things like Fortnite and Roblox that have their own things. And the problems that Facebook is having with the government now, where they're trying to break it up because it's too much of a monopoly, he can now argue that it's more of a partnership and there's more competition because everyone gets to build a part and contribute to a part of this metaverse. But he is the glue. Facebook is the glue that holds it all together.
Well, I mean, you would have thought that he's made more than enough money to last him several lifetimes. But you touched on this briefly, Judita. Given Facebook's current travails, the bad smell that is surrounding it, and the bad social media image that it appears to be creating, I mean, can we trust them with a metaverse?
I don't know about trust, because when you think of the whistleblower that's currently even here in the UK talking to Parliament, she said that Facebook capitalizes on the dysfunction that people have and on negativity, and they monetize it in a sense. So creating a metaverse is almost blowing that to a colossal proportion, because you will be getting the disaffected people in society seeking a remedy in a place that isn't permanent, that isn't tangible. So that is going to perpetuate the issues that social media already has. But at the same time, it also does show you that when you think of dating apps, or you think of artificial intelligence or real player games, computer games, this is where the world is going. Facebook is becoming a conglomerate that is gluing it all together to show that natural progression can be controlled and understood better, because by having so many people participate in a new universe, there is that idea of cooperation and community.
Well, I have to say it sounds amazingly fascinating, and even better when you describe it. Judita, thank you very much indeed. Judita Dasilva, our correspondent there, talking to me from London. That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and around the world, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.